Hi everyone, it's David from Lend Power here. Welcome to another episode of Invest Power today. Slightly different setting today, a lot more casual, a lot more relaxed, no more whiteboard, so that you don't have to worry about what I'm writing on there anymore. I think today I'm just going to talk about a couple of things, so in a more casual and relaxed setting, so everyone can just sit down and enjoy a bit of a good story, I guess. If you haven't got a cuppa, maybe sit down and grab a nice cup of tea, because I do want to talk a little bit about my journey quitting from KPMG to starting my own mortgage broking business. So as most of you would know, I have a background in IT. I started off as a support engineer in a company called Hands-On Systems. That's where I actually got that job when I was in my third year of uni, when I was doing my work experience. I reached out to Hands-On at that point in time and thought I'll try out my work experience there, and got my first interview. So I know at that time when I asked the general manager and founder of Hands-On, it was my first interview, by the way. I was nervous and I was cracking. I was nervous like hell. And Jing asked me the question, where do you see yourself in 10 years' time? To be honest, I have no idea. I have no idea how I could answer him at that point in time. My mind just goes blank at that point in time. I don't know how I answered, and I still can remember clearly at this point in time that I really don't know what I should say. But I did tell him that I will do my best to find a way that I want to do. Okay, so that was when I was in my fourth year of uni. I went through my thesis in uni and also worked part-time at Hands-On, so that I graduated. I've actually got a full-time job straight away with Hands-On. So without having to be in competition with all the other tens and thousands of graduates from universities around that time, I was able to have a safe path straight away. And got my first job, got my first paycheck. And being at Hands-On, I worked my way through as a support engineer from day one. Slowly worked my way up to network engineer, and then almost when I got to senior engineer, at that point in time I asked myself the question, is this something that I want to continue going? Is this something that I'm still passionate and keep doing? At that time, you may or may not be aware of, the cloud is actually getting a lot more popular. So what I was doing as a day-to-day activity, which is essentially putting together servers, taking it on site to small businesses, and then cutting over all that small business computers across onto the new server. That's part of my sort of in that project engineer space. Excuse me. And then on that basis, so as you could imagine, the word cloud has so much threat and impact into what I was doing on the day-to-day. If I tell you that I was not worried, I will be lying. I was quite worried about the future of continuing as a support engineer. And also at that time, we already got 3 senior network engineers that's above me. I look at them, I go, am I going to be one of them? Probably not. Are we going to have a spare position for senior engineer? Probably not. So that's when I look at other opportunities within Hands-On, and I decided at that point in time, because 2 project managers have quit, and that's why I thought, well, okay, there is this position and I'm willing to give it a try. So I raised my hand to my manager at that point in time. I said, look, I want to do this, can I try it out and see what happens? And the manager at that point in time is very supportive. He's under the impression that, hey, if I don't like it, then I can always come back to engineering, so it doesn't hurt. And he definitely supports what I'm trying to do. So I had the luxury of staying in our project management office for 3 months, just trying out to see what it feels like to be actually working as a project manager. And, look, 3 months is not a long period of time. I wouldn't say that I got a really good glimpse of what I had or what I needed to do throughout the last couple of years. But it certainly gave me an option at that point in time, because it gave me a different choice. I was able to learn a lot more from soft skill perspective rather than just technical skill, which is what I was doing as a network engineer. Network engineer is all about technical skills, and to a certain degree, it's not something that I want to be able to do for the rest of my life. I always know that at one point in time, I'm going to have to branch into more of a management level, just because, there's always going to be young graduates that's going to come out. They're always going to be faster in terms of thinking. They're going to be more adaptable to technology. So I need to get myself to start to think long term about what my long-term career should be. So even though I wasn't too sure what I should do at that point in time, I still made the decision to jump across and leap into the project management side of things. And I was hoping I was able to do some projects in IT infrastructure, but unfortunately, hands-on doesn't have the capability at that point in time, and there's not a lot of demand in terms of how many IT projects that I can actually take on. So I ended up having to do a lot more enterprise resource planning, ERP projects, starting from Microsoft Navision, and then eventually work my way through to Microsoft Dynamics AX. Throughout about 3 years ago, Hands-On was being acquired by KPMG, and therefore, every staff in Hands-On essentially got automatically upgraded to become a KPMG team member, and that includes me. So I was lucky enough to stay in my first job, in my first company to a certain extent, and stay long enough so that my company get bought out by KPMG. My partner thinks that, this is such an awesome opportunity. You didn't even have to fight with the other tens and thousands of graduates program out there in order to try to get in KPMG. So she thinks that I'm definitely very, very lucky. And at that time, I thought so too. So we moved into KPMG, moved to the flashy building of Barangaroo, but our day-to-day stuff, our daily stuff is still the same. I'm still a ERP project manager. I still handle the same clients. I still handle the same team. I am not working with the wider KPMG. It is difficult because the nature of our job is very technical. It's a very unique product. For those of you that have worked in the ERP area space, essentially it is technical advisory in that sense. So, it's not just general consulting. It's very specific about how this product would work, how this module would work, how this would fit your requirement of being able to do X, Y, Z, from logistics all the way to delivery, warehousing, all that stuff. So being a project manager for about 4 to 5 years in the ERP area, again, I've hit that point where I ask myself, is this something that I want to do long term? And at that point in time, I was investing in property. I was very, very conscious that I love property a lot more than I love ERP. So I think the answer for me was very, very clear, despite the fact it was a difficult decision for me to quit KPMG. In particular, that my partner thinks that I'm crazy because she wanted to get into KPMG and she had a lot of trouble in doing that. I was in KPMG and I was trying to get out. She just thinks I'm crazy. Why would anyone want to do that? But except myself, because I know what I wanted to do. I know that I always wanted to do a business, and I know that I always wanted to make a difference to people's lives. That's the whole idea why I wanted to start something myself. I want to start a mortgage broker company that I can actually help and provide some property consulting as well as guidance to those people who want to be able to buy a property, build a portfolio, whatever they want to do, I can actually make a difference. That's what really sparked this, because in comparison to what I was doing in KPMG, all the day-to-day stuff I worry about is how to run this project. Why is it not on track? Why is actuals over again? Why are we late again? Why? I had to continuously be a very negative person to the point where I actually kind of lost myself, because I get a lot of satisfaction when I'm able to help people, when I'm able to make a difference, when I'm able to transform someone else's life. I can't do that in KPMG. And I don't want to continue to be stuck in KPMG. So despite the fact, yes, it's a great place to work, don't get me wrong, but it's different to what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to achieve, what my goal is, and what I would like to see myself making a difference to this world. So for that reason, I've decided to quit. It was a long time. I gave it a long, hard thought, 3 months career break to myself to thoroughly think it through. And also 3 months for myself to actually dip my toe. A bit like when I was doing in project management and transitioning from engineer to project manager. I gave myself 3 months time so I can actually dip my toe into mortgage broking. And to be honest, I'm loving every moment of it. So that's really what the difference it could make. Okay, so I hope that's my story at high level. I hope that it actually gives you some idea about how Lenpower, my own mortgage broking company, and me, how we started, why I initiated, and the story behind the brand. Okay, I'm David from Lenpower. Thank you for watching another Invest Power series. If you got any other questions about today, what I talked about today, or if you'd like to know more about my story, just feel free to reach out, drop me a message. I'm always here, david@lenpower.com.au. We'll see you next time.